Hey there, loves. Welcome to Life's Just Cray. I'm Cate, and this is where we talk through real life situations that have you up until 2 a.m. talking with your bestie. Like, okay, but what would you do though? Real situations, real talk, no fluff. My grandma always used to say that you could lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And that's exactly how I move on this show. Everything I say comes from my own experience or my own thoughts. I'm not a professional, and I'm not here to tell you what to do. However, it might just help. Alright, so today we're getting into imposter syndrome. And I already know this one is going to hit because more people are dealing with this quietly than they'll ever admit out loud.
I have been in my field for 6 years. I have been promoted twice. I have led projects that generated real results and received feedback from people I genuinely respect that my work is exceptional. On paper, I am someone who has figured it out. In my head, I am someone who is about to be found out. I do not know exactly when this started. I think it has always been there in some form, but it has gotten significantly louder as I have moved up. The more responsibility I have been given, the more convinced I have become that the people who gave it to me made a mistake. That at some point, someone is going to look closely enough at my work and realize that what I have been producing is not actually as good as everyone seems to think it is. That I have just been lucky or likable or in the right place at the right time, and that none of it is evidence of actual ability. I prepare more than anyone else in the room because I am terrified that if I do not over-prepare, I will be exposed. I second-guess decisions I have already made and been praised for. I minimize my own contributions in conversations because claiming credit feels presumptuous in a way I cannot fully explain. When someone gives me a compliment, my first instinct is to find the reason they are wrong rather than to accept that they might be right. The part that is hardest to admit is that the feelings do not go away when things go well. If anything, they get worse. Every success feels like another thing I have to live up to. Every promotion feels like a higher floor to fall from. I've started to wonder if I will ever reach a point where I feel like I actually belong in the rooms I have worked hard to get into, or if this is just something I carry forever no matter how much evidence accumulates on the other side of it. How do you silence the voice that tells you that you do not deserve what you have earned?
Okay, I need you to hear this. That voice is not going away. And I want to lead with that because I think that's the most damaging thing anyone can tell you about imposter syndrome. Is that if you work hard enough or achieve enough, it will eventually quiet down and just leave you alone. And it won't. And the sooner you stop waiting for it to disappear, the sooner you can start learning how to carry it differently. But here's what I also need you to know right now. You're not alone in this. Not even close. Studies show that 70% of people experience imposter syndrome at some point in their life. 70%. And 65% of working professionals are actively dealing with this right now. That means that the majority of people sitting in the same meetings as you, presenting on the same stages, getting the same promotions and the same praise, most of them are hearing some version of the same thing that you're hearing. The colleague who always seems the most confident in the room, the manager who never seems to second guess herself, or the person whose work you admire the most. Statistically, the odds are strong that they go home and sit with the same quiet terror that you do. You just can't see it because everyone is performing the version of themselves that belongs in the room, while the doubt lives somewhere private. And here's the thing about that voice. and why it gets louder the higher you go. It's not because you're getting worse at your job. It's because you keep doubting yourself. And every time you doubt yourself, you feed it. You look at a promotion and instead of thinking, I earned this, you think, what if they find out? What if they find out I'm not ready? You look at a compliment and instead of receiving it, you immediately start cataloging the reasons the person is giving it or why they might be wrong. You're so busy building the case against yourself that you never stop long enough to look at the actual evidence on the other side of it. So let me ask you something. How did you get there? Not the lucky version, not the right place, right time, the real version. You prepared when other people didn't. You showed up when it would have been easier not to. And you pushed through rooms that weren't built for you, and you produced work that people you respect have called exceptional. Whether it was your actions or your timing or some combination of both, you did that. That belongs to you, and nobody can audit that away from you, no matter how loud the voice gets. Block out the noise. Block out the people who make small comments designed to shrink you. Block out the comparison and self-doubt and the waiting to be found out. You're already in the room. You already belong there. The only person currently arguing otherwise is you. Alrighty, loves. That's all I've got for you today, and you already know where to find me. Slide into the DMs with your situation, and you might just hear it on the next episode. And if this one hit home for you, share it with someone who needs it, because that is what we do. And remember, just because I've said this advice doesn't mean you have to take it. You're the maker of your own decisions, but you must also be willing to deal with the consequences of your actions, if there are any. Until next time, take care of yourself.